Hey guys, Pro1701 here, and news has come out over the past few days that there is going to be a Babylon 5 reboot. That is exciting news, even though it is a double-edged sword, because Babylon 5 is such a good show. It's an amazing television show. It's my favorite science fiction TV show of all time. The one thing I like probably even more than Doctor Who. And I've watched it several times. It was one of the first shows to really do serialized television, especially for sci-fi. Back in the 90s, it ran from 93 to 98, including the pilot. And I am excited about it. I love the fact that they're bringing J. Michael Straczynski back to do it. Now, he was the guy who was a potential candidate for maybe running Doctor Who before Russell T. Davies was announced. There was talk about him. He had expressed interest in it. He is also the creator of the original Babylon 5 series, the 90s series. He created it. He wrote most of the episodes in it, including, I believe, all of Season 3 and Season 4. And when he created it, he conceived of a beginning and middle and an end for it, so he knew exactly how everything was supposed to play out. There's a lot of foreshadowing in it, a little seeding of this and there and everything that's coming in it. And it pulls it off really, really well in a way that's standard for television now, since so much television now is serialized television. But back then, everything was very episodic, like, Star Trek: The Next Generation, stuff like that. So it did it really well, and because of that, it was really good with character development. I've never seen a science fiction show so good with character development. Battlestar Galactica wishes it could do character development like this. And to watch the characters from the beginning of Babylon 5 and where they ended up at by the end of Babylon 5 and how they've changed and grown and meeting new ones and having some we lost. Such a good show. Now, I am excited about this news. The little synopsis says it follows John Sheridan, who of course was played by Bruce Boxleitner in the original series from Season 2 through Season 5. The second and final season, or second through the final season. And as he assumes command of Babylon 5 and how an expedition wakes up a millions-old alien race. So it does sound like a very good setup for how the original series went with one of the major two wars it had to deal with. And I understand why they're rebooting it, why they couldn't kind of do a continuation of the old show easily. Because one, the old show wrapped up pretty well for the most part. It had a few loose threads from Season 5. But it wrapped up pretty well. There wasn't any reason to really go back to that. Plus, sadly, probably about half of the original cast have passed away. Sadly. It's pretty unprecedented. It's a pretty large number, actually, when you think about it. But a lot of them have passed away, sadly. So I can understand them wanting to do it from the ground up. The problem you run into is, one, some of these characters, it's going to be practically impossible to imagine someone else playing them. I can't imagine anybody else playing Garibaldi but Jerry Doyle. I loved him as Garibaldi. Garibaldi was one of my favorite characters. He was so nuanced, and especially watching Jerry Doyle grow. He really grew as an actor over the course of this. Because like Season 1, his acting is pretty good, but not like super great. But by the end of it, I thought he was phenomenal in the role. He really grew into it. I really like Bruce as Sheridan. I really like Mira as Delenn. But my two favorites that I find them impossible to replace is Peter Jurassic as Londo Mollari. Londo's one of my favorite characters. I love watching his character development over the course of the show. And where he is at the beginning, where he is like in Season 2, where he is at Season 3, where he's trying to be and where he is in Season 4, and kind of what he's trying to do, and then how he ends up in Season 5. It's such a fascinating character arc. And the way Peter plays that role, and the way he does his voice, because that's not his natural voice, the way he does his voice, that's such a cool voice he does. And then my personal favorite character of the whole show is G'Kar, and I cannot imagine anyone but Andreas Katsoulis playing G'Kar, and sadly Andreas has passed away. He died in 2006. He also played Tomalak in Star Trek: The Next Generation, several episodes, the Romulan commander Tomalak, and he was the one-armed man in The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, the movie. He's just so good as G'Kar. He's such a charismatic actor. He just has this charisma and this presence. It's just, every time G'Kar is in a scene, I am just I am so there for it. He is so good. And much like Londo, watching Jakar's character and how he changes and grows and what all he goes through over the course of the series is fascinating. They're my two favorite characters, Londo and Jakar. They're just so, even individually they're really good, but then you get this lightning in a bottle chemistry between the two actors and between the two characters, because their characters do interact a lot. They're very connected in different ways at different point over the show, and that they had this, just Peter and Atreus had this good chemistry, and because of that, Londo and Jakar had this really neat chemistry when they're on screen together, and it's so hard to recapture that kind of bond and that chemistry. It really was lightning in a bottle. And so it's just going to be weird seeing other people potentially play these characters. Although I suppose they could create totally new characters in those roles. Like instead of Jakar, you could have a different character in that playing the kind of Jakar role. Same thing for Londo. And it'd be interesting to see how differently the story unfolds, because naturally it won't play out exactly like the old show, because then there wouldn't be a point of doing a new show. They'd just update the old show, which they actually have. So I'm sure there are a lot of events that, there's going to be a lot of things that are the same, but there's also going to be a lot of things that are different. A lot like how the modern Battlestar Galactica is different from the 70s Battlestar Galactica. Though, to be fair, the 70s Battlestar Galactica is a lot better, because the modern Battlestar Galactica got really stupid about halfway through and just never came back. A lot like that. And I'm really curious to see what they do with it. I really don't want just silly politics to play into it. I really want JMS just to focus on making a good show and not just get caught up in all the politics of today. Although I'm sure his writing will reflect politics of today. He's really good. The original Babylon 5 did a really good job of kind of predicting some of the ways the world would be and the way the world is now. So I suspect he'll be trying to do that with the new series. I am really excited he's back. Having the original creator of the show and the guy who wrote most of the episodes for the show back, he's running the pilot for the new series. He'll be taking over running the new series. He is literally the only person I would be comfortable handling a Babylon 5 remake, but I have a lot of confidence in him. So I am definitely going to give the show a shot. I'm very excited about it. I'm looking forward to getting more news from it. And I like the fact that him and Warner Brothers seem to have patched things up, because, I've always considered Babylon 5 JMS's baby. It is. I mean, he created it. He wrote most of it. It's his baby, even though Warner Brothers owns it. And for a long time, Warner Brothers was like, no, we're not doing anything with it ever. Just deal with it. And then we got the remastered version of it on HBO Max, which I've watched recently. And I like the fact they went back to the 4:3 on it, because the ship effects look so much better. And I really like the remaster for the most part. It was really good. It's definitely far superior to the DVD release, and I really enjoy. I just finished. Well, actually, I'm on the last episode. I have to watch Sleeping in Light, and I'll have finished my rewatch of Babylon 5. So this announcement came really at a really good time. And I've really enjoyed my latest rewatch of it. I really like the remastered version on HBO, and I like the fact that Warner Brothers is paying attention to Babylon 5 again, and that they did remaster the old show. And that there is this new show coming out. I'm very excited about it. I'm a little cautious, because there's always that worry of, oh God, I hope they don't screw up something else I love, because a lot of the old franchises are getting just Star Wars sequel trilogy sucked. Most of the new Star Trek shows aren't good. Doctor Who is not what it once was, even though I personally enjoyed most of Series 12, but the Whittaker era is weaker than any other era in the show's history. I mean, just objectively and subjectively. So there's always that potential for it just to be disappointing, but I am going to give it an honest shot, and I'm going to keep an open mind, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. So, Babylon 5 getting rebooted. What do you think? Are you excited? Have you seen the old show? Did you like the old show? If not, you should go watch the old show. It's my favorite sci-fi series ever. Best character development ever. I recommend you watch it. Let me know what you think about the old show, about the new show, about the announcement for the new show, I should say. Comment down below and let me know. I always enjoy hearing from you guys. Other things to do. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button. Click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on a new video. I do a new video every day. I also have a Patreon. If you would like what I do and want to contribute to what I do, there is a link to that down in the description below. For the entire month of October, I will be allowing access to all of the videos I post on my Patreon to any tier level. So even if you join at my entry level tier, which is only $2 a month, You will have access to all of my behind-the-scenes videos that I do, polls that I post, bloopers that I do, stuff like that. I even have a couple videos coming up soon for other stuff. I think I'm going to be ranking the doctors. That would be a Patreon-only video that I think, again, anyone will have access to. I'll probably be doing that sometime in October. So if you're one of those people who's really wanted to see me rank the doctors, that will be available for my patrons only. But you can see it for only $2 a month if you're interested. So check that out. Most importantly, thank you for watching.